At this point in time, I'd like to call this meeting of the Middlesex County Board of Chosen Freeholders to order. Please rise for a moment of silence. Salute to the flag, Dennis.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Notice of this meeting pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10:4-10, has been complied with and shall be entered into the minutes of this meeting.
Roll call.
Freeholder Barrett Belante.
Here.
Freeholder Delia. Freeholder Polos.
Here.
Freeholder Rios.
Here.
Freeholder Tamaro.
Here.
Freeholder Valenti.
Here.
Freeholder Director Rafano.
Here. Okay, at this point in time, there's a need to deviate from the regular order of business to consider two resolutions, but I want to deal with the one first from Middlesex because I don't see anybody here from Edison. So let's address the resolution number 11-974, which is Open Space, Recreation, Farmland, and Historic Preservation Trust Fund Grant for construction and/or improvements to the municipal recreational facilities, that is at Mountain View Park. Okay? I'd like to open up to the public. Any comment on this resolution?
Motion to close.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Now I need a motion to adopt resolution number 11-974.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. Roll call.
Freeholder Barrett Belante.
Yes.
Freeholder Polos.
Yes.
Freeholder Rios.
Yes.
Freeholder Tamaro.
Yes.
Freeholder Valenti.
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rafano.
Yes. Now this is going to be time to present Freeholder Barrett Belante. I understand Mayor Scheer is here and also Councilman Ron Demure. So why don't you guys come on up and accept the check?
It is my distinct pleasure and honor to present this check. $500,000.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Would you like to say some words?
Yes. I would just like. Oh,
Thank you.
Did you?
And when they get her.
I just want to thank the Freeholder Board for this grant. It'll come to good use for the borough of Middlesex in our Green Acres facility. And I think it'll be good for the people of the borough of Middlesex. I'd also like to recognize Councilman Demura, who worked very closely with the Freeholder Board in obtaining this grant, and recognize his efforts that way. Thank you.
Okay, I think what we'll do at this time, we'll consider the resolution for Edison, and we'll actually present it when they get here, okay? So, oh, they're here. Okay. Hi, Mayor.
Come on, Mayor.
Come on in.
Well, I don't think they're all here yet. There's some more people from the commission coming from the tower.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
So then-
we'll move the resolution.
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah.
Okay? So, yes. At this point in time, for consideration is Resolution 11-970, which is Open Space, Recreation, and Farmland and Historic Preservation Trust Fund Grant for construction and/or improvements to municipal recreational facilities, in this case for the restoration of Edison Memorial Tower. At this time, I open up to the public, Resolution 11-970 only. Anyone from the public?
Motion to close.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Now, I need a motion to adopt Resolution 11-970 only.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. Roll call.
Freeholder Barrett Belante.
Yes.
Freeholder Polos.
Yes.
Freeholder Rios.
Yes.
Freeholder Tamaro.
Present but not voting?
Freeholder Valenti,
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rafano.
Yes. Looks like everybody's here.
Yeah, just in time.
Just in time. Freeholder Barrett Volante to present the check. I understand the Mayor Resigliano is here, and also Nancy Zerby. Come on up and accept your check.
And Margaret Inglacia, too. She's
Oh.
the treasurer. I mean, you
Sorry.
missed her. She's a good friend of yours, I heard.
I've known her for many, many years.
Sounds like your game.
Margaret, come on up, too. You're-
Come on. Get everyone up here. I'm fine. How are you? Good to see you. Everyone has worked so hard on this, so let's everyone. It is my honor and pleasure to present you this check, $300,000 from the Board of Chosen Freeholders. Thank you very much.
Dave Harris?
Dave.
Is he sick?
Mayor, you have some words, I'm sure, and whomever else.
First, the paperwork. Now it's really official. On behalf of the Township of Edison, I would like to thank the Board of Chosen Freeholders for their generosity and commitment to preserving this historic site. We are working toward the restoration of the tower and hopefully the expansion of the museum. And when we're ready for the ribbon cutting, you are all invited to come, everyone on the board, the clerk, and everyone in the audience. So thank you very much. Nancy, would you like to say something?
I'm Nancy Zerby. I'm president of the nonprofit Edison Memorial Tower Corporation that works with the town and the state on the site. And I want to thank the freeholders for this contribution towards the tower restoration. I also want to let you know that the one thing that I know very well is people have waited a very, very long time for this restoration. Any major project like this takes a lot of fundraising and planning and studies. Charlie's been there patiently with me, working hard. And we're thrilled that we're finally at the point that we are able to restore. Understanding that it's taken a long time and people are excited about it, we are currently planning some public programs. It's going to be a year-long restoration that we're just getting it underway, and there will be children's programs, adult programs, plenty of opportunities for people to come, kind of get some behind-the-scenes look at what's happening and learn about the tower, its history, and the site. So we'll be getting that information out, and I encourage everyone in the public to keep an eye out for that information and come and see one of the states, and not one of the country's, most important sites and most exciting restorations. Thank you.
I'm Peg Inglace, and I'm on the board, and I rattled a tin cup for money. You have made a very wise investment, and I thank you from the bottom of my very grateful heart.
Need a motion to resume the regular order of business?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Commemorative resolutions.
We have several this evening. First is recognizing Reverend Joseph Romanowski of Sacred Heart Church, South Amboy, on the 25th anniversary of his ordination to the priesthood. Next is recognizing Reverend Marian Drodds of Sacred Heart Church, South Amboy, on the 20th anniversary of his ordination to the priesthood. Next is recognizing Andreas Komodromos, as he is honored by the Federation of Hellenic American Organizations of New Jersey. Next is recognizing the winners of the Don't Drive Dangerously public service announcement contest. Next is recognizing Carteret Fire Department Captain Richard Bonner for his heroic actions on March 14th. Next is recognizing Carteret firefighter James McKinney for his heroic actions, also on March 14th. Next is recognizing Louise Lipp, second grade teacher at Martin Luther King Elementary School in Edison on the occasion of her retirement. Next is recognizing the following as they have been named the 2011 recipients of the Growing Business Award by the Middlesex County Regional Chamber of Commerce. Astaire IT Solutions Incorporated, Berkeley College, Brunswick Automotive Professionals, JFK Johnson Rehabilitation Institute, Joe Canals, and the New Jersey Institute for Disabilities. And last is recognizing Jonathan Simon Winter and R.A. Meyer Berger of Boy Scout Troop 55 and Daniel Brooks of Boy Scout Troop 66 as they have achieved their Eagle Scout Awards.
I need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. Roll call.
Freeholder Barrett Blante,
Yes.
Freeholder Polos,
Yes.
Freeholder Rios,
Yes.
Freeholder Tamaro,
Yes.
Freeholder Valenti,
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rafano.
Yes. Deputy Director Rios to make his presentations.
If we could have Captain Bonner and Firefighter McKinney come up, please. I just want to share with everyone here of what transpired. Ironically, it was both on March 14th, and there was two separate incidents that these two firefighters were engaged in and did a heroic act. On March 14th, around 9 p.m., Captain Richard Bonner was returning home on the turnpike near Interchange 9 when he observed a bus starting to weave, and it crossed 3 lanes and hitting a telephone pole. And it got pretty ugly there. And then he pulled over using his personal medical bag and began to triage and render medical assistance to the injured. While rendering aid, he also contacted the state police and put in a request for 5 ambulances and 3 paramedic units. He assisted the injured and was soon joined by state police officers, followed by the first aiders. He not only rendered medical aid, but also assembled the walking wounded outside the bus in a safe area away from the traffic. His quick actions were credited in every newspaper as the off-duty firefighter who went above and beyond his duties. He has assisted the state police in the investigation, and he is now also assisting the National Transportation Safety Board. I've had many dealings with Captain Bonner coming from Carteret. He is a true professional firefighter. He is very proactive, and he has been an asset to the Carteret Fire Department, and he is a great firefighter, and we're very proud of him in Middlesex County, and I think we should all share that story with everyone to know that we have professionals here. Congratulations, Captain Bonner. Now we have firefighter Jim McKinney. Same day, in Carteret, he was working off-duty as a fire watch for a contractor at the Kinder Morgan facility, which is when a high-pressure gasoline leak developed from a nearby 16-inch valve. He quickly instructed the welders to evacuate the area, and as the firefighter McKinney and the workers were evacuating, the gasoline ignited, causing a large pressurized gasoline fire. As he reached a safe area, he noticed that a welder had fallen close to the area that was on fire. At that time, firefighter McKinney, without regard for his own personal safety, he went back to the area that was on fire with high-tension wires arcing around him and dragged the welder to safety. After rescuing the worker, firefighter McKinney went back to the fire using a large portable fire extinguisher and tried to keep the fire in check until the fire department arrived. The welder was taken to the hospital with sprained ankle, contusions, and was released later that day. Again, he went above and beyond the call of duty, and he really risked his life in saving someone else's life, a true professional. And again, he's another firefighter that I had personal dealings with, and he has made us very proud. Congratulations.
Director, before we move on to the next item on the agenda, I just want to recognize Lenny Sadowski, who's our new chairman of the Edison Memorial Tower Corporation. He probably got stuck in Edison's traffic, that's why he's late. But, I just want to congratulate him on taking over the new position, and I know we'll be going very far with that. Thank you.
Correspondence?
Each freeholder has been provided with a list of correspondence received by the clerk's office since our last meeting. This correspondence will be kept on file in the office of the clerk of the board for reference.
Need a motion to accept the correspondence?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it.
Director Rufano has received a letter from Highland Park Mayor Stephen Nolan requesting open space funds in the amount of $85,000 for the design and installation of restrooms at the County Turf Field Play Area Complex behind Highland Park High School.
I need a motion to refer this matter to the Open Space Committee.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. Roll call.
Freeholder Barrett Belante,
Yes.
Freeholder Polos,
Yes.
Freeholder Rios,
Yes.
Freeholder Tamaro,
Yes.
Freeholder Valenti,
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rufano.
Yes. Reports of freeholders. Freeholder Carol Barrett Belante.
Thank you, Director. First, we'll start with Middlesex County College. On May 19th, Middlesex County College had its 44th commencement, and although the weather was a little less than perfect, the rain could not dampen the enthusiasm of the graduates and their families. More than 600 students participated in the ceremony of the class of 2011. And it was the largest graduating class to date, with 1,445 students. And on another exciting note, a total of 1,042 students were named to the college's dean list for the spring of 2011 semester. I would like to offer my personal congratulations to these students and to all who graduated this year. At the Middlesex Academy for Allied Health and Biomedical Sciences, the student raised $1,250 for Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Institute for Children with Cancer. The Kids Walk for Kids with Cancer was held at Turkey Swamp Park in Freeholder. Out in the Public Health Department, last weekend the staff of the Middlesex County Public Health Department participated in a gatekeeper shelter system exercise at Middlesex County College. The gatekeeper is a portable, expandable system that can be used for emergency events, such as a special medical needs shelter, medical field hospital, isolation, quarantine, and a community reception center. The system provides for over 3,000 square feet of space and is equipped with a power generator, climate control, and water handling system, hygiene center, shower and toilet, and a food preparation area. This valuable resource will allow for immediate medical response in disaster situations in Middlesex County to help keep the residents healthy and safe while supporting area hospitals. The Middlesex County Public Health Department would like to remind you all at this time to take important steps to protect yourself and your family against West Nile virus infection. West Nile virus is transmitted through the bite of an infected mosquito, so it's important to take steps to prevent getting mosquito bites and to clean or remove items on your property that can serve as mosquito breeding grounds. Remove or clean anything that can collect rain or sprinkler water, such as clogged gutters, flower pots, old car tires. If you have a bird bath in your yard, remember to change the water at least once a week. You can reduce the risk of infection by using mosquito repellent, wearing long sleeves and pants, and limiting outdoor activity at dawn, dusk, and during the evening when mosquitoes are the most active. If anyone needs any more information, they can call the Public Health Department. Out in the Health Environmental Division, the Environmental Health Division Water Program completed another season of ambient surface water program monitoring under the direction of the New Jersey DEP. As part of the CEHA agreement with the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection, our division performs pesticide inspections of landscapers throughout Middlesex County and also schools to ensure that they are conforming to the pesticide control regulations. Thank you very much. Out at the vocational school, we've had a lot of activity recent days. At the Allied Health and Biomedical Sciences, not only did they raise the money for the Turkey Swamp, senior Lori Burns received a $1,000 scholarship from the New Jersey State Associates at NJSIAA Annual Scholar Athletes Award Banquet. And at the Science and Mathematics Engineering Techniques, senior Taylor Lacey was selected as the 2011 Pre-Engineering Scholar by the National Action Council for Minorities in Engineering for her demonstrated academic excellence, leadership skills, and commitment to engineering and science as a career goal. In addition, Taylor received the Caring Award from Middlesex County Guidance Council at the 24th Annual Program at Middlesex County College. The Rotary Club also honored Taylor Lacey at their awards dinner. At the Academy for Science, Mathematics, and Engineering Technology, the alumni class of 2007, Matthew Rodriguez recently earned the Advanced Certificate of Engineering Leadership from the Bernard M. Gordon MIT Engineering Leadership Program. The program is a new educational initiative at MIT that combines leadership, development, and rigor of the MIT educational experience. And for the 5th consecutive year, all 3 Academy of Science, Mathematics, and Engineering Technologies Science League teams finished in the top 10 schools statewide. They certainly are very, very proud of our students out at the vocational school, and I want to congratulate all of them. We had activity out in the East Brunswick campus. 40 students participated in a physical challenge, and one student out there, Jamal Pinto, received a gold-plated unit coin for his outstanding performance. He reached 100% in every single activity, so congratulations to him. This year's challenge was to promote further importance of physical fitness, and so we want to say congratulations out there. Ms. Bridget Hill, substance awareness counselor at the Perth Amboy campus, escorted 15 students to the local Salvation Army Center to assist in the preparation of food for the needy and to stock the shelves of the pantry. It was a very rewarding event for those students out there, and I want to congratulate them for their work. Out at the Piscataway campus, the school newspaper, All Eyes on PVT, retained its first place standing in the American Scholarship Press Association Scholarship Newspaper Award for 2011. Last, but certainly not least, I'm asking tonight my colleagues to support Assembly Bill A3852 and Senate Bill S2243 regarding voter approval for charter schools. As chair of the Public Health and Education Committee, I offer my support for Resolution 110876, which supports an Assembly bill and Senate bill that would require voter approval to establish new charter schools. At a recent zoning board meeting in my hometown of South Brunswick, the number of residents opposed to a proposed charter school was far greater than those who supported it. But because the only authority in the state able to approve a charter school is the New Jersey State Education Commissioner, towns really have no say in the process. I believe that needs to change. Our public school districts are getting less and less state aid, and now if charter schools are established within their communities, they must pay tuition for the students attending the charter schools. Taxpayers should have a say in this process. I ask the board to support this resolution to give our residents a vote. Thank you. That's my report.
Thank you, Freeholder. Freeholder H. James Paulos.
Thank you, Freeholder Director. First, I want to thank the board for supporting the recommendation to put the resolution on tonight regarding charter schools, and thank Freeholder Barrett for her support, and look for the support of the rest of the board as well. Clearly, I think that an argument can be made that charter schools have a purpose and a reason to exist in the state in some form or fashion, and perhaps in varying districts. I hail from Highland Park, and we've been faced recently with a situation which would have a substantial, and I underscore substantial, impact on the overall quality of education for the residents of our community as a result of the necessity to fund a charter school which has been proposed. Here is where the divide begins, because the impact on the education system within the community would be so substantial that the benefits to have a charter school far outweigh the deficits of the affected school district. The plan and the process, the funding simply has to change. It is obviously the state's obligation to do so. The bills that have been proposed would give local communities more control and input into that decision-making process, which again would give the community an ability to be able to determine whether a charter school would have a positive or a negative impact on the overall education quality being provided to the students within that district. I can tell you that in our particular situation in Highland Park, the impact in this current plan would be a negative impact without question. We are, as every school district throughout the state, trying to do everything that we can with diminishing revenues, diminishing resources, diminishing state dollars. We have our school teachers literally using books over, counting paper clips, and asking residents and parents to bring everything from paper supplies to additional materials to help hedge against the cost of education. To have such a significant impact, and again, I underscore the word significant, in dollars to the residents, is simply unfair to fund a charter school that has been developed and devised by a group of individuals who feel that that type of education would be better suited for their students. In fact, it would affect many communities, not just Highland Park, and I believe that all the communities that are involved have the same view. So I thank the board again tonight for their support for that resolution, hopefully for their support for that resolution, and I'm sure we'll be discussing it later on in the meeting. To go on with the report, this past week or so, as I'm sure many of the freeholders did, I attended a Memorial Day parade in Highland Park. It's a parade that has gone on for many, many years. I'm the former mayor of that community and councilman, so I've marched in that parade many, many years. And I think it's important to underscore the fact that that parade took place and continues to take place. It's a great day to see our veterans, our public safety people out in force. We had a lot of students, we had recreation kids, we had the high school band come out and perform. But to see that moment, to see those veterans and all those who were involved being honored for their service, and remembering those who we've lost, those who are disabled, those who continue to fight abroad. It's just so important to keep those traditions going. I'm so proud of the city of New Brunswick and the borough of Highland Park that they do continue that tradition. It's important for our new and young generations to remember what has gone on, why we enjoy the freedoms that we have, why we enjoy the liberties that we have, and the expense and toll that it took in order for us to enjoy those liberties and freedoms. So I, again, commend those communities and all the communities. There were Memorial Day parades in other communities as well throughout the county. So I want to compliment all of those who have either had an event, a parade, or at least a service to commemorate the service of those who have served us so well. I was asked this week to participate in a program. It was a very good program put together by the Middlesex County prosecutor with our school superintendents and police chiefs throughout the county to talk about school safety. As you know, I chair the Middlesex County Task Force on Emergency Preparedness, and a number of years ago we made a proposal to create a new program for the state called School Training and Response Teams. It's an innovative way to provide more assistance to our school districts, our superintendents, and our police chiefs in the event that a very unfortunate or tragic incident occurs at a public school or parochial school within the county. The program idea was embraced by the State Office of Homeland Security, and I was asked by the prosecutor to present the plan to that forum. I know other freeholders attended as well. And again, I want to thank the prosecutor for not only the opportunity to present the plan, but also for his strong support for making sure that START becomes a model in Middlesex County and one that we hope will be emulated throughout the state of New Jersey. And Middlesex County has certainly set the benchmark for school safety and training and the work that we've done as a county and through all the great efforts of our school superintendents and police chiefs. So again, kudos to all who were involved in developing some policies, and I'm sure Freeholder Rios will be talking about that shortly. But again, a very successful meeting and certainly a pleasure to be a part of it. Yesterday, I participated in a rather interesting ribbon cutting, if you will, of a street paving project. Now, that may not sound too exciting to you on the face of it, and normally street paving isn't that exciting, but it was somewhat in and somewhat outside of our county. It was the first road paving project that was actually done as an inter-county project between Union County and Middlesex County. The situation came to light several months ago when I received a call from Dunellen. It turns out that the street that runs through Dunellen, Jefferson Avenue, is actually half of the street belongs to Middlesex County and half of the road belongs to the city of Plainfield. Well, it seems over the years the Middlesex County side was paved episodically and the Union County side may not have been paved as often, but it created a lot of angst for all the residents who lived along this pretty large thoroughfare that traverses the Dunellen border. The mayor contacted me and wanted to know if there was a way that we could work something out to get the entire road paved instead of just half of it. I set up meetings with the mayor of Plainfield, who was extremely helpful, a wonderful woman to work with, Mayor Briggs, and through a lot of discussions and negotiations and with the great work of our highway and bridges, our road department, public properties people, we forged a unique, and I say unique because it's the first time a public works project was done between two counties from our county. We forged a very unique, for road paving, forged a very unique partnership and paved the road both sides. The city of Plainfield is paying the county of Middlesex to do the road paving on their side. We're out there today to look at it. It's a beautiful job. The residents are happy. And what's most important, perhaps, is it not only was a great project, but it created a great working relationship. We've actually talked to the city about perhaps doing some other paving in the city or doing some other joint shared service agreements with the city of Plainfield because of the proximity. So it opened up some great doors and, again, a great shared service. This morning, we held a meeting with 16 school districts and municipalities, and I know that the mayors of Edison and Middlesex were there this morning, so we've had a long day together, haven't we? But it was a very productive meeting with our engineer and attorney who have been assigned to developing a solar plan for Middlesex County, for our municipalities and school districts. I'm glad that Freeholder Tamara was also able to be there, and I believe that he'll agree that it was a very productive meeting. A lot of questions were asked. There was a lot of enthusiasm from the school districts in particular, as well as the municipalities, to see how we could work together to use cooperation and buying power to develop the best solar plan that will provide reduced energy costs for our communities and for our school districts. The significant savings, and again, I have to underscore that word, significant, as the engineer did today, is going to be something that I think will be a benefit to every district and every municipality. If we're able to pull this plan together, we'll provide opportunities for districts to put solar panels either on roofs, parking canopies, or in open space areas. The same would be for our municipalities, and we'll be bundling together with that a number of county properties that we also have to make this as large a buying group as possible. It would be a lease program, which means there would be no significant money out of pocket for the communities and school districts participating, and the costs and fees would be rolled into the rates, and those rates, again, would still be substantially less than the electric costs that communities and districts are paying today. Dollars saved to the taxpayer, dollars that can go to programs, or dollars that can go to tax relief. Again, our moniker here is you go green, you save green. Every dollar that we can save is certainly good for our communities. This past week, we moved our community transportation safety program, pedestrian safety trailer, which was in Edison, right, Mayor, a couple of weeks ago. I think it was successful there. We just moved it to East Brunswick, and again, we're offering it to communities throughout the county. If you have an interest to increase pedestrian and traffic safety in your community, you can utilize our trailer. It's provided to you at no cost, and we do it on a 2-week interval period. You may have read in the paper day before yesterday that the Department of Transportation at the state, and it was on NJN last night, is now proposing to perhaps privatize the maintenance of highways in New Jersey. It seems that the state is looking to cut costs in any way that it can, including privatization. What's kind of piqued my interest was the idea that the state was looking to farm out services. About 5 years ago, we actually made a presentation under a former administration to the Department of Transportation to request an opportunity for Middlesex County to endeavor to do road maintenance for the DOT as a contract laborer. Unfortunately, the administration at that time kind of turned a deaf ear to it, and it never amounted to anything. This new proposal by the state piqued my interest, and I contacted the Commissioner's office today requesting a meeting because I believe that if the state is looking at contracting out service, perhaps the county can be in an ideal position to provide that service. We have some very unique situations in our county which have created frustration for our residents, and I'll just use one that Mayor Grisigliano is probably aware of in Edison and Highland Park. If you drive up Woodbridge Avenue from Highland Park, it's a well-maintained road by our county road department, and I certainly give them credit for that. When you reach Route 1 and go over the overpass, and Freeholder Tamaro knows about this, we spoke about this just a week ago, it's a disaster until you get about 100 yards past the overpass where the county takes over again. There were times where we wanted to put a big sign up that says the DOT maintains this area because it looks so bad. It seems to me almost incompetent that we're not being contracted to just continue to mow the lawn another 500 or 600 or 800 yards, or to do the snow removal for another 800 feet, or repair the potholes along that stretch of roadway. But unfortunately, up until now, that hasn't been the case. So we're going to take another shot at it this time. Hopefully, a new administration or new ears or a new way of thinking, or maybe just because of the economy, they may give us at least an opportunity to make the presentation and create a new revenue source for us, provide a service, and be able to create, again, generate a new revenue opportunity for Middlesex County. So with that, I will now go to the podium. Thank you. Sure. Oh, great. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll be brief in the presentation only to tell you that this is a very interesting time of year because we've done a program for a number of years now. I guess it's 14, Carol? Barbara, how long have we done this? 11? 12. I lose count. Our program is 12 years old. We began a program 12 years ago asking our high school seniors throughout Middlesex County to develop public service announcement videos, 30-second videos that they would actually produce, direct, and star in to deal with the issues of drinking and driving for our teenagers and young adults. Very successful program. It's grown over the years. We started out initially with about 6 schools. We have 24 involved now this year. The project has grown substantially. It's being sponsored by the Division of Highway Traffic Safety. Robert Wood Johnson University Hospital is involved. It culminates in a half-a-day seminar, if you will, where we have a series of workshops for all of the students who participated. We do a drinking and driving education program. We have seminars. We have some hands-on education for them. It's really been a great program. It was something that was embraced by the state of New Jersey and the Attorney General of New Jersey actually tried to initiate something like this statewide. So we're particularly proud of the program, particularly proud of the students who do the work every year. We've expanded it to include not only video, but also audio entries. And this year we have winners in both the audio and video category. So with your permission, I'd like to run through the entries that we have, and then we have, I believe, 4 schools here tonight who will be receiving awards and checks for their SAD programs at their high school. This is the time when I usually sing or dance in between as we wait for the video to work. Let me continue by telling you that there are award prizes for the schools, as I mentioned. The first place is $1,000, second place is $750, third place is $500. Those dollars will go to the school to be used for their anti-drinking and driving or SAD programs within their school district. In our audio selection, that's for our video. In the audio, there's a $500 for first, $300 for second, and $200 for third place. Before we begin that, I'm going to sidestep for a moment, and I want to recognize an individual who's with us today. I told you this program began 12 years ago. It was an idea that was hatched, pulled together a couple of people to sit down and talk about it to see if it made sense. One of those individuals is Barbara Ryan. Barbara is with the Middlesex County Superintendent of Schools office. We sat down, and Barbara, you made a great cake, if I remember that first time. We had coffee, and she brought in cake. We sat down and tried to forge this plan, an idea to see if it would work. Well, she has been a stalwart supporter of this program ever since. I will say to you publicly, this program would not be as successful as it is if it wasn't for the efforts of Barbara. Barbara, could you come up for a moment, please? I know you didn't know this tonight, but on behalf of all of us who were involved with the program, I'd like to present you with the Certificate of Appreciation to thank you for all the effort that you do to make this program successful and all that you do to help the students in Middlesex County.
Thank you.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Congratulations. It's difficult to surprise her, but I think we got one in, so that's good. Ready?
I'm glad you came with me today.
Hey, you should get that right now.
Don't worry, it was just before a second.
Whatever.
Hello? Yeah, where did you want to go today? Which mall are you talking about? I don't know, choose one.
Yo, you almost hit that car. Get off the phone.
Yo, chill, man. Everyone swears here and there. It's not that serious.
16% of teen drivers' deaths are caused by infractions.
Don't drive dangerously.
Hey you guys, so you should already know by now that drinking and driving is bad, right? Of course. Did you know that using a cell phone while driving, whether it's handheld or hands-free, delays a driver's reactions as much as having a blood alcohol concentration at the legal limit? That's 0.08% if you didn't know. So just think of it this way. Texting while driving and drunk driving are pretty much on the same level. So if you whip out your phone, you might as well whip out the liquor. Either way, it's not worth it. Think about what you're doing before you drive.
Special Forces Unit 19, we have a Code 9. I repeat, Code 9, East on Nash. We need a rescue team, stat!
This doesn't look good, people.
10-4, this is 2-5. We have a visual of a texting mom. I repeat, a texting mom. Over.
There's 2 children in the vehicle. Get down there now! Move! Move! Stay clear.
I'm on it. She's losing control!
This vehicle is all over the place. We need an evac now!
Life doesn't come with a rescue team. Save yourself.
Put the phone down. Put the phone down. Over.
While they queue up the rest, I'll mention to you that this year we expanded it from just don't drink and drive to don't drive dangerously, so we allowed the students the latitude to address the issues of dangerous driving, such as texting and phone usage and so forth, also in the vehicles.
Worn out faces, bright and early for their daily races, going nowhere.
It's so easy to get caught up in the rush of things. Managing school, your job, and your friends can be a full-time task, especially when you're starting to drive. But the one thing teenagers don't understand is that combining the two means dangerous driving, not only to you, but to the others around you. Don't drive dangerously.
And now our first place winner in the video category.
I need to go home right now.
Why didn't you just let me drive? Why did you leave me here?
You didn't have to die like that.
Can't you see what you've done?
How could you let me down like that?
Think of someone besides yourself!
And how about a round of applause for all of our entries, our winners? Now these videos and audio clips and so forth are put onto YouTube. We circulate the municipalities to play as local programming if they wish to do so. I will tell you that the value of these is really significant. In fact, the program was approached 3 years ago by the Division of Alcohol Studies at Rutgers University, and we were asked to make a formal presentation of the video clips to their panel because at the time they were actually unaware, and these are the experts in the industry, we're certainly not, that students were willing to put together such meaningful and strong messages to their peers about these dangers of drinking and driving, and certainly now driving dangerously. So the message that has come out is impactful, it's got meaning, and it certainly has implications well beyond the borders of Middlesex County. So my compliments to the staff, the teachers, and to the schools who have participated. I'd now like to invite up for a quick presentation the third place audio winners, Piscataway Votech, called In a Matter of Seconds. I think Devon Hudson, Kia Era Williams, and if their advisor Brenda Schaefer is here, she can come up as well. Congratulations. Very nice job. Congratulations. Hi, Judy. I'll give you one. If you'd like to take a picture, we can do that too. Thank you very much. From Piscataway High School for one of our audio wins, Save Yourself, LaRon Lee. Come on up, LaRon. Oh, everyone is here. Well, LaRon, you're going to have to introduce everyone because I only had one name on my sheet today, so please tell us who you have with us.
I have Kevin Castro, I have William Prue, Felipe Cabrera, and Justin Miranda.
Well, congratulations to all of you, and I have a certificate for each of you. Thank you very much. Great job. Thank you very much. Congratulations. If you like, we'll take one picture. One more. Great. Thank you very much, gentlemen. I'm going to give you... Okay. And for our video wins, our second place winners are here tonight from Middlesex High School. Mayor, you'll be glad to hear. Don't Drive Dangerously, John Zalesny, Jackie Reese, and their advisor, Vincent Inseong. Did I do that right? Oh, great. Jackie. I'll let you take all of these as well for everybody else that's involved. Good job. And last but not least, our first place winner in the video contest, Piscataway High School, Flash Forward. And I think LaRon is going to accept that for Piscataway, correct? Congratulations again. Get you 6 more sides. Okay. Thank you very much, everyone, for your patience, and thank you again to all the participants. Director, back to you.
Thank you, Freeholder. Deputy Director Ron Rios.
Thank you, Director. As far as my report on law and public safety, the Middlesex County Association of Chiefs of Police appointed a committee to implement lockdown procedures for schools. And this past Tuesday, that meeting was held in cooperation in conjunction with the Middlesex County Prosecutor's Office. And basically, it was attended by police departments throughout the county, chiefs of police, obviously. And it was a symposium that was also attended by superintendents of schools throughout the county. And it was to have consistent procedures of lockdown procedures. This way, there wasn't one town that had a different lockdown procedure versus another town, because you had have a team of police officers that may be involved in a lockdown procedure or in a response. And this way, there's consistency, uniformity, and people work together. And it's a great effort by all the team that's involved. And it was really attended by a lot of people. And it was a great job by the Chiefs of Police Association and the Prosecutor's Office. And I say thank you for a job well done. And this way, hopefully, God forbid, we never have to utilize them. But at least we're trained and we can feel comfortable that we have qualified individuals that are participating in this. Also, as far as law and public safety, graduations are coming up very soon. I encourage, of course, with the prosecutor's office and everyone else, including my freeholder colleagues, for all students, please enjoy your graduations and your proms. And partying is great, but making sure that you don't drink and drive. Don't drink if you're underage, obviously, and not under the influence of any kind of drugs. Tomorrow, June 10th, 180 people between law enforcement officers, educators, nurses, and child study experts will attend a day-long seminar offering training sessions on gang activity, cyberbullying, current trends, and the kinds of illicit drugs that our people are using, and people dealing with substance abuse. I encourage everyone, every parent, every teacher, anyone in education, law enforcement, please be aware of cyberbullying or any kind of bullying. It's a practice that shouldn't be tolerated, and it shouldn't happen. And I have a certain sensitivity towards it because my own granddaughter was bullied, and it's a very scary situation. So I encourage everyone, every parent, keep your eyes open for anything that might throw up a red flag as far as your child being bullied. We've been experiencing a lot of heat this past week, and our Office of Emergency Management also encourages everyone to rehydrate, make sure you stay out of the heat. And today, the director spoke about getting our fire academy and our freeholder meeting room for a place in case anyone needs to cool down, so that they don't succumb to being overheated. We were also recognized by the State Attorney General's office, thanking our Consumer Affairs for their staff for educating retailers and law enforcement about the ban on designer drug labels as bath salts. Once in the weeks after April 28th of this year, announcement statewide, our Consumer Affairs investigators brought education materials to a total of 96 retail establishments throughout the county on the type known to sell designer drugs labeled as bath suits. So our bath salts, I'm sorry. Our retailers were informed, and our county Consumer Affairs Department really did a good job. And again, we were recognized by the State Office of the Attorney General. And also, this evening I'm requesting a resolution to be added to the agenda to enter into a contract with the United States Marshal Service to provide for transportation of their prisoners to and from the Adult Correction Center in North Brunswick. And this is the last step in the process that we believe will allow us to begin accepting federal marshals prisoners at the county jail. These inmates are not ICE detainees. By utilizing existing space in our facility, our county will be able to bring in additional revenue for our 2011 and future budgets. And let me reiterate, this arrangement has the potential of providing significant income for the county, and I ask also for the board's support, and I guess later on I'll be able to ask for that to be added to the agenda. And that concludes my report on law and public safety. Thank you, Director.
Thank you, Deputy Director. Freeholder Charlie Tamaro.
Thank you, Director. I'll keep my report brief because I know everybody wants to get home and watch the Yankee game. Okay, well, that means we'll be able to get home and watch the whole thing. I don't have a report from the Planning Board because our next meeting is on Tuesday, so I'll have a report at the next meeting. I am very happy to see 876 on this evening. It is a bill that's sponsored by our 18th legislative senator, that's Barbara Bono. She is the sponsor on the Senate side. I'm not sure who's doing it on the Assembly side, but it is a bill that would have to go to the voters first before any charter schools are approved. With today's budgets, and the mayors know, you have to keep your budget under 2% cap. And if you don't, you're going to be, either laying off or cutting services. And it's a very difficult time. And what we do not need is a charter school. It's more or less a private school. If somebody wants to start a private school, go right ahead and do it, but not on the taxpayer's dollar, without their approval at least, because you'll be draining the budgets even more than what they already are drained. So I'm glad to see this on this evening. I think we ought to send it to all the rest of the towns in our county to make sure that they would support the same thing, and send it forward to all the legislators and all the legislative districts in our county, and to make sure that they would support this bill and make sure it moves forward. Now, who knows what's going to happen when it gets to the governor's desk? He'll probably veto it, knowing him, but at least it shows that the voters in Middlesex County do not want to allow this to happen. I am on a board of directors of a local food pantry, and we're having a health fair on June 18th, and I want to head thank the Middlesex County Health Department, who is going to be part of it. We are partnering up with J.F. Kennedy Hospital. I see Jane Brady there. Her workforce is going to be there that day. We have the Department of Community Affairs helping us out. We have Keep Middlesex Moving and Info Line. We have Edison Township. We have the Health Department. We have the Police Department, the Fire Department, the Police Auxiliary, and Edison Recreation. We have about 20 different groups that are going to be there to offer services and help to those in need it the most. So I want to thank everybody ahead of time before that date. And the other thing I'd like to speak about a little bit about the tower. They have started restoration on the tower as we speak. Right now they're removing what they call the pavers around the base of the tower so they can put up the scaffolding, which will go 131 feet high. And this will take about a year to complete, but once completed it will look like it was in 1937, maybe even better. And we're hoping better, of course. But we are also filming that, because in 1937 they didn't film it. Maybe took a few pictures, but that was it. So we'll have a history of what's being done there to show future generations, because this is not only a symbol of Edison Township, but the symbol of the world. You say Menlo Park right away. In China, they'll say Thomas Alva Edison, the wizard of Menlo Park. We receive visitors from all over the world, from Austria, from China, from Japan. And they don't go to West Orange, or they don't go to Milan, Ohio, where he was born, or Fort Myers, where he had a summer home. They come to Edison, New Jersey to see the site that we have there. So it will be, I want to thank the County Freeholder Board for helping us to make a dream a reality. I've been working on the board since 1997, and it's been very long and very hard to accomplish what's been accomplished. And because of our board, we've been able to do that. Thank you.
Thank you, Freeholder. Freeholder Blanquita Valente.
Thank you, Freeholder Director. I want to commend my colleague, Freeholder Paulus, on the judging and anti-driving campaign. I was one of the judges, and the presentations were very, very impressive. It was very difficult to decide who the winners were. And this is something I've enjoyed doing the last few years, and it's good to see so much involvement and so many thoughtful and brilliant students. So I commend this program very much. I also attended this week an event on behalf of Women Aware in New Brunswick. It's a very worthwhile organization, and I hope that many of you will support it in the future. They have a safe house right here in the city, and they take in abused spouses and the children, and they do an incredible job. So I want to mention that in today's program. I also participated in the Highland Park New Brunswick Memorial Day activities. I was both at the monument in New Brunswick and at the Doughboy Monument in Highland Park. It was well attended. Unfortunately, that hill going over the bridge and up Highland Park was a little bit much for some of us. My legs are not as young as they used to be, but I did get to the monument at both ends, and it was very impressive. And it's really a great day for those veterans that did so much for all of us. The other mention in my report today is the Kids Count. This comes out once a year, and this is the 2011 report, and it goes through all the counties and the various programs. And I have to say that we fared pretty well. Middlesex was ranked was 5th in the state, which was the same as last year. Some of them rank very poorly because they don't do enough for their kids, and it's according to population. So the biggest percentage of women receiving early prenatal care saw a disappointing decline in all but 4 counties. Unfortunately, this is something that happens, and not enough people get the help that they should be getting for that prenatal and making sure that kids grow up to be healthy. Let me see, I had one more thing. I'm sorry. There's a number of resolutions of municipal alliances, activities program through various towns in Middlesex County, and I urge my freeholder colleagues to support them. And they include quite a few of our towns that have those programs. Those monies come from the state and the county, and these are for funds to train youngsters to be aware of against drugs and alcohol. And that's the end of my report.
Thank you, Freeholder. A couple quick items, and then I have a statement that I'm going to read. First of all, recently I was the keynote speaker at the Alliance for Action annual meeting and addressed the state of Middlesex County's economy. The Alliance is a nonprofit, nonpartisan, statewide coalition of over 2,500 business, labor, professional, academic, and government leaders that advocate for investment in infrastructure. I also detailed for them our plans for 2011, our infrastructure improvements. Tomorrow, I will address the Middlesex County Employers Legislative Committee, an event sponsored by the Woodbridge and Edison Chamber of Commerce, and going to discuss there the 2010 census and the state of our business community here in Middlesex County. And I mentioned just before about the census. I got a letter in the mail from a Robert Groves. He's the director of the Economics and Statistics Administration for the U.S. Census Bureau, thanking us, the Board of Chosen Freeholders, for our efforts to help make the 2010 census a success. I want to also thank the residents of Middlesex County for doing their part in filling out their questionnaires. The information that you submitted will help bring federal funding to the county that will improve our infrastructure and other services, including hospitals, job training centers, schools, bridges, and roads. So thank you, the residents of Middlesex County. Lastly, as I indicated, I have a statement that I'd like to read. I support Middlesex County's move toward a comprehensive, sustainable energy master plan and Freeholder Tamaro's recommendation to the board that we seek proposals for a firm to complete this study. I also support his recommendation to accept the proposal from Birdsall Services Group to become the county's energy procurement consultant for natural gas, consistent with the county's electric procurement plan. I think it bears repeating that there will be no out-of-pocket costs incurred by Middlesex County to join this purchasing effort. I believe it is important to harness our collective efforts to aggressively pursue a comprehensive, sustainable energy master plan. Middlesex County has long been considered a leader in these areas, and this board, our departments, our autonomous agencies, and our partners in our local municipalities and school districts have all contributed to this achievement. I would like to commend Freeholder Tamaro for his leadership on this comprehensive initiative. His efforts, along with the efforts of all the freeholders on behalf of the county and our municipalities, will make Middlesex County a sustainable county, a county with the highest quality of life. As Freeholder Chair of Public Health and Education Committee, Freeholder Barrett Belante will help us welcome the state's first LEED certified gold long-term care facility when we open our new facility in Old Bridge later this year. Freeholder Delina, who has dedicated himself to building one of the best county park systems in the state, will lead us as we begin utilizing alternative energy sources, including solar power, to produce all the power needed in our parks. Freeholder Polos was integral in the county's participation in the cooperative purchasing program for electricity. He has overseen the efforts to purchase more than 60 hybrid vehicles for our county fleet. He also introduced the Middlesex County Showroom of Environmental Technology, or MCSET, which helps municipalities, schools, and private businesses identify and implement environmentally friendly technologies. Freeholder Deputy Director Ron Rios began his time on the board as liaison to the county college and vocational and technical schools, both of which have embraced green technology. Crabeel Hall on the Middlesex County College campus is a LEED certified building, including numerous sustainable components. And now, as chair of the Law and Public Safety Committee, he is overseeing kitchen renovation at the Adult Correction Center, which will incorporate Energy Star appliances, a recommendation made in the energy audit at the Apple Orchard Lane complex. Freeholder Valente is a tireless advocate for the people in need in this county. It is under her leadership that we will investigate ways to make our Meals on Wheels vehicles and delivery system more efficient with the possible use of Energy Star appliances in our transport vehicles. As you can see, projects and programs that promote sustainability are occurring throughout the county, and all our freeholders have taken active roles in pursuing them. Now is the time to bring all these programs, initiatives, and partnerships together through the creation of a comprehensive, sustainable energy master plan under Freeholder Tamaro's guidance to truly create a sustainable future for Middlesex County. Thank you. Mr. Kelso, resolutions to be amended?
There are none.
Resolutions to be added?
Yes, Freeholder Director, we have 3 resolutions to propose to be added to the consent agenda. The first 2 follow from your statement that you just read. The first would be to accept the proposal of Birdsall Services Group to provide professional services for energy procurement consultant for the County of Middlesex at no cost to the county.
I need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. Roll call.
Freeholder Barrett Belante.
Yes.
Freeholder Polos.
Well, just a question. If I'll vote yes for the purposes of discussion, but then can we separate this out so I can remind the director about the sustainability plan that we've already adopted? I just want to make sure we're all on the same page before we initiate a whole new initiative and duplicate our work. So how does that work, Tom? I don't want to make sure that we have an opportunity to further discuss the fact that we have all of that in place.
The motion that's currently pending is to add it to the consent agenda, though it's not being voted on for purposes of adoption. So if, once it's on the consent agenda, if there was to be further discussion, you could remove it from the consent agenda and have the discussion then. But I think, as a practical matter, you could also do it now. So either way. But it doesn't, by adding it to the consent agenda by roll call vote, it doesn't preclude us from taking it off the agenda and discussing.
Well, I'll have it added to the agenda, and then I'll make a statement later prior to the vote. Is that okay to do? I want to make sure they'll have that opportunity.
That's procedurally, yes.
Okay, fine.
Yes.
Thank you.
Freeholder Rios.
Yes.
Freeholder Tamaro.
Yes.
Freeholder Valente.
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rafano.
Yes.
And that would be Resolution 11-1014. The second resolution, which is also as a result of the statement, would be to authorize membership for the County of Middlesex and the Mid-Jersey Region County Energy Cooperative Pricing System, with Union County being the lead agency.
Need a motion?
So moved. Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Tamaro. Roll call.
Freeholder Barrett Belante.
Yes.
Freeholder Polos.
Yes.
Freeholder Rios.
Yes.
Freeholder Tamaro.
Yes.
Freeholder Valente.
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rafano.
Yes.
And that will be Resolution 11-1015. And the last resolution was recommended by Freeholder Rios in his statement, and that is to authorize execution of modification to the Intergovernmental Services Agreement with the United States Department of Justice, the United States Marshal Service regarding housing of federal prisoners at the Adult Correction Center to add guard transportation services at the hourly rate of $31.65 plus mileage.
Need a motion?
So moved. Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Tamaro. Roll call.
Freeholder Barrett Belante.
Yes.
Freeholder Polos.
Yes.
Freeholder Rios.
Yes.
Freeholder Tamaro.
Yes.
Freeholder Valente.
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rafano.
Yes.
And that will be added as Resolution 11-1016. And that's all the resolutions for addition to the agenda.
Any resolutions to be held?
Yes, Resolution 11-972, as recommended by Mr. Kachinkis Monday evening, pending funding confirmation.
Any resolutions to be voided?
There are none.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to open to the public on any agenda items. Anyone from the public?
Motion to close.
No, well, hold on. I think
Go
there's some
back.
people here that want to speak. This is the
come on.
time to speak.
Come on up.
Now it's time.
Yes. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Susie Welkowitz. I'm a resident of Highland Park and a graduate of Highland Park High School. Across the country, New Jersey is known for its high-quality public schools. It's this quality of public education that provides diversity, safe communities, and high property values that is at stake, as charter schools siphon off much-needed public school funds. While charter schools may have a place, they are unnecessary and detrimental to communities with high-ranked schools. In Highland Park, we've lost $4 million in the last 4 years to budget cuts. We already send about $200,000 to a charter school in New Brunswick, and that's a failing school. School programs like more pre-K and kindergarten hours are being cut. Last year, a charter school was approved in East Brunswick, which is a blue ribbon school. They are sending $1.8 million right now to that charter school. They have full-time, the charter school has full-time kindergarten. East Brunswick cannot offer it because they don't have the funds. We enjoy small class sizes, and that's also being threatened. Please protect the proven high-quality education that we know and cherish in New Jersey. In the past 6 months, 23 charters were approved. That's more than the total number of charters approved since the state established its charter laws in 1995. There are currently about 60 pending applications. As these charters get approved, we question the oversight and the qualifications of the applicants, as our precious tax dollars are being divvied out to private individuals and for-profit corporations, and we don't have a vote on it. This charter school movement is fast and strong. I urge the freeholders to pass a resolution requiring local approval for any more charters. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else in the public?
Hi, I'm Bobby Dev Kumar. I'm a resident of Highland Park and a graduate of the Highland Park schools. As we all know, public schools are the great equalizer in this country. It's an opportunity for everyone to walk in and everyone to get educated, and I am a product of that. And I'm here to encourage the freeholders to support resolution that would allow for local control for local dollars spent on charter schools. In the case in East Brunswick, as Ms. Welkowitz just pointed out, that school was approved with 5 qualifying founders within 3 households. So 3 households are affecting the entire district to a tune of $1.8 million for 1 year. So I would encourage the freeholders to consider the resolution and to support the resolution that would allow for local support for charters. Thanks.
Thank you. Anybody else in the public?
Motion to close.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Ayes have it. Does any freeholder have any resolutions that they'd like to have removed from the consent agenda?
I do.
And I do too.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Director, 110902.
Okay.
I have 4, Director. 0932, 0933, 0941, and 0950.
And I have one, Director, 110950.
And I'd like to separate out the 2 that I had questions about, 4210 and 4211, or actually, I'm sorry, it's 1014 and 1015.
1014, 1015. Right.
I have 2 also, Director, 879 and 925.
879, 925. Okay, Mr. Gusson.
Are you ready?
Ready.
Director, a motion would be in order to adopt a consent agenda consisting of resolution numbers 11-876 through 11-1016, excluding resolutions 11-970 and 11-974, which were previously voted upon, resolution 11-972, which is to be held, and resolutions 11-879, 11-925, 11-950, 11-902, 11-932, 11-933, and 11-941, and finally 11-1014 and 11-1015 to be voted upon separately.
I need a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. Roll call.
Freeholder Barrett Belmonte,
Yes.
Freeholder Polos,
Yes.
Freeholder Rios,
Yes.
Freeholder Tamaro,
Yes.
Freeholder Valenti,
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rafano.
Yes.
Now, Director, it would be appropriate to consider resolution 11-902, which was excluded by Freeholder Barrett Belmonte.
I need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. Roll call.
Freeholder Barrett Belmonte,
Present, not voting.
Freeholder Polos,
Yes.
Freeholder Rios,
Yes.
Freeholder Tamaro,
Yes.
Freeholder Valenti,
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rafano.
Yes.
And now it would be appropriate to consider the two resolutions excluded by Freeholder Tamaro, 11-879 and 11-925.
Need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. Roll call.
Freeholder Barrett Belmonte,
Yes.
Freeholder Polos,
Yes.
Freeholder Rios,
Yes.
Freeholder Tamaro,
Present but not voting?
Freeholder Valenti,
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rafano.
Yes.
Now, Director, the resolution excluded by Freeholder Rios was also excluded by Freeholder Valenti, and that's Resolution -11-950.
I need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Freeholder Tamaro, seconded by Freeholder Barrett Belmonte. Roll call.
Freeholder Barrett Belmonte,
Yes.
Freeholder Polos,
Yes.
Freeholder Rios,
Present, not voting.
Freeholder Tamaro,
Yes.
Freeholder Valenti,
Present, not voting.
Freeholder Director Rafano.
Yes.
Now, the three additional resolutions excluded by Freeholder Valenti, and that would be resolutions 11-932, 11-933, and 11-941.
Need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Barrett Belmonte. Roll call.
Freeholder Barrett Belmonte,
Yes.
Freeholder Polos,
Yes.
Freeholder Rios,
Yes.
Freeholder Tamaro,
Yes.
Freeholder Valenti,
Present, not voting.
Freeholder Director Rafano.
Yes.
And now, finally, Freeholder Director, the two resolutions excluded by Freeholder Polis, I would just ask Freeholder if he wishes to have them considered together or separately.
Sure, they could be together.
Okay. They would be resolutions 11-1014 and 11-1015.
I need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Now time for discussion. Anybody have any discussion about these two resolutions?
Yeah, Director, well, it comes as no surprise to the board because we discussed this on Monday. I'm just a little perplexed by your statement tonight, forging ahead with the idea of creating a new sustainability initiative. When we have a state-funded sustainability plan in place, I mean, we spent $90,000 to develop the sustainability plan. It is online. It's on mcset.com. It's a live document. It's riddled with the details of our carbon emissions, our carbon footprint, our fuel usage, our biodiesel initiative, our hybrid initiative, our electric initiative, our solar initiatives. And I think it really develops a rather comprehensive, it was put together by by Rutgers University, the Sustainability Institute. These people obviously know sustainability better than we do. They've probably forgotten more about sustainability than we'll ever know. I have a lot of confidence in the documents that were put together. It was funded by the Department of Community Affairs, blessed by them. The stakeholders included every utility company in the county, about 28 different businesses, every school district, every municipality. So I'm all in favor of sustainability, and I would respectfully suggest if Freeholder Tamaro would like to participate on that sustainability committee, I'm more than happy to have him on. Freeholder Barrett was a member when we first adopted it, and maybe the Freeholder can integrate some of his thoughts or ideas into that. I'm hesitant to spend more county money now on another professional to develop a new sustainability plan that arguably could be at variance with that. We have a framework. We spent an enormous amount of money to create a live document website There's really no reason to go out and create a whole new system. I think it's just more of trying to marry together. Again, I'm very open, having been the one that's been working on these issues for the last 8 years for the Freeholder Board at the Freeholder Director's direction, Freeholder Crabiel, who initiated a lot of this. I'm happy to embrace anybody. I know Freeholder Tamara is new to the board, and Charlie, you're more than welcome to participate, but I think we need to think about this before we adopt this idea of a new sustainability energy plan. Every energy initiative that we do in the county is integrated into the new document. We're in the process of upgrading it. The new solar initiative that we're forging ahead with in the county will participate in the plan. The new initiative we spoke about earlier with our municipalities and school districts will add to that and reduce our carbon footprint. So I guess I'm just saying to you, as one who's been working on this for a long time, we already got it in place. There's no reason to reinvent the wheel. And that's point one on the sustainability. Point two, with respect to Birdsall, and we had this discussion on Monday too, and I think Birdsall is a great firm, but I did have conversations with some of the other groups, including, and I did ask and I guess there was a miscommunication on Monday. I spoke with the administrator. If you recall, I asked if he had spoken with our energy consultant who's doing the electric energy aggregation that I put together with the Ed Services Commission a year and a half ago. I know he had mentioned yes, but I misunderstood. I guess he meant that Ann spoke with Pat Moran. That was a miscommunication. I spoke with them as well today, and I spoke with Good Energy, who is our energy consultant. There is actually work right now in place to move ahead with a gas consortium for the Ed Services Commission, and they have 406 members. They're about 3 weeks out from trying to decide about proceeding with a consultant. I have no problem if we want to think about, for purposes of time, although I think we agreed on Monday that gas prices are flat. They were probably about $4 a decatherm right now, and they haven't moved off of that in probably 3 months or so, in the $3.50 to $4 range, just for pure utility costs, not transmission. And I would suggest that before we move too expeditiously, we create a dynamic where we sit and talk with Ed Services. They're about ready to go out. We need to look and do a comparative of rates. It's not in the document what the actual charge is going to be by Birdsall, and I assume the charge will be per therm, as is mostly the case with these types of arrangements. I know the Ed Services Commission is between 0.003 and 0.006 a therm. If we want to be competitive, we need to know what the numbers are before we agree to a contract with Birdsall, and I haven't seen those numbers unless somebody knows them sitting at the table. So it would seem to me that we should just move a little bit more cautiously, and at the end of the day, one of two things I see happening. Either Ed Services Commission uses their buying power and participates with our consultant, which may very well be the case, and we'll all benefit, or we may find out at the end of the day that the dynamic that we have with Ed Services Commission in fact makes more economic sense and may have to proceed that way. We shouldn't disregard the fact that they have about an 8 million decatherm purchase power. I'm sure our consultant will agree that that's highly significant in the buying group. So we should really make sure that we're doing this in a much more comprehensive way, which is why I cautioned on Monday not to proceed tonight until we had an opportunity to meet. I'm sorry that there was a decision made to just proceed because, again, I think there needs to be a little bit more study on this before we end up a little bit further down the road and end up on divergent roads and have our Ed Services Commission participating one way, us going another way, and not getting the full benefit of our buying power. So if we're going to approve this tonight, and I'm sure in all likelihood, given the dynamic that will occur, then I'm going to say at least a word of caution. Let's not proceed too quickly until we have an opportunity to at least sit down with the parties involved and discuss it, because I didn't hear any of that presentation on Monday, and I'm concerned that that wasn't considered before this whole presentation was even brought to us on Monday. Anybody want to respond to that? No? Okay.
We had the presentation Monday.
I know, but none of that was ever brought up. I'm just curious why.
The gentleman's here from Birdsall if you want to ask him a question.
No. I'm talking about the purchase power with our buying group, our current energy consultant, Good Energy, the Ed Services Commission, the 8 million decatherms that they have as buying power. I mean, none of that had obviously been taken into account. And I know, again, that I'm not saying that at the end of the day we may not end up this way, but I'm just saying let's be judicious before we just approach and hire a consultant and say, go ahead. I think we need to have meetings and discussions to determine at the end of the day if, in fact, this is the best way to go, or are we more economically efficient continuing with our current buying group, which again is at .006 a therm. I don't know what the rate is by the professional that you're recommending we hire, so I think we have a little homework to do is all I'm suggesting. But if nobody agrees with that, you guys can vote.
Just in response, I would agree with what Freeholder Polis indicated. Birdsall had presented to the county a proposal for natural gas consortium similar to what the Regional Education Service is providing on the electric side today. They brought the proposal before me as the administrator, and I felt it was important that the proposal as they laid out does not, the agreement and the resolution basically indicates that Birdsall would come in and do an analysis and also come up with a proposal as part of a consortium, and I believe it's with 3 counties and potentially 5. I thought it was prudent on the county's part to present it at the working session on Monday, recognizing the fact that, as Freeholder Polis has indicated, that this resolution doesn't bind us to any contract or any agreement to going out to purchase, but rather allows Birdsall to go out and do an analysis of what the potential opportunity would be through the consortium they've established. This way, I believe the board has an opportunity to review what Birdsall has come up with, as well as what the existing consortium we have with the regional school system, and hopefully provides the board, as I think Freeholder Polis has indicated, an opportunity to look at both of those opportunities and ensure that the county makes a diligent decision that best serves the residents of Middlesex County. So again, let me reiterate, there are no, the way the resolution is structured, it's merely to give Birdsall the ability to come on in to do the analysis, similar to what's going on today and with electric, and hopefully provide a greater understanding and an opportunity for the board to make a decision that would be a prudent one. So that's the recommendation.
John, just so you'll know, I haven't seen the resolution, so I don't know what it says exactly, and I'm not sure what upfront costs the engineer is willing to forego in the event we make a decision down the road to go with a different vendor. So I think that's one of the reasons why I'm suggesting to you that we kind of rushed into this. You know, we got it on Monday. Nobody talked about it. We didn't really know much about it. I think there are a lot of questions to be asked. I'm respectfully recommending that you at least put it off until we have an opportunity to sit down and meet with the parties involved to talk about the possibilities, and then at the end of the day make a decision, a judicious one, as to which way we should proceed. But it's up to the board.
First thing, I believe the resolution was emailed to all the freeholders, so it should be in your email. Second thing, as explained by the administrator, this is doing exactly what you're suggesting that we do, is look at our options. So this does not bind us. They're going to do an analysis, which is the first step in making a decision.
Just let me be clear on that then, just the consultant, because I know the consultant is here. Is it true then that if we proceed with you and we elect at some point to bail out and do a purchase with another entity, there's no cost?
That's correct. Yeah, we don't get paid until you enter into a contract, and the contract has to be acceptable to the county. Even if after we get our bids, if we're not happy with them, we would get nothing.
And the contract doesn't obligate us to proceed with you? Is that what you're saying, sir? I'm sorry, but I haven't seen it. I haven't seen the agreement.
Proceed with us in what way? We don't get paid unless you enter into a contract with the supplier that's acceptable to the county.
Right, but I'm saying, do we have the option to be able to go with a different supplier or a different buying group at any point during the process without having any exposure?
Let's be signing.
Would we be able to terminate the contract, I guess, is the question. We'd have to. We haven't even negotiated the contract yet.
You would be able to go your own way and get another gas supplier if you weren't happy with what we bring with it.
Well, let me ask you a question. How are we proceeding tonight if you haven't negotiated the contract yet?
Excuse me, Freeholder Director.
Sure.
My understanding, the way the resolution is prepared, is it allows Birdsall to go out to do the analysis of the county's natural gas requirements, go out and potentially go out to bid as a consortium with other counties, correct? And then based on what you, after your analysis and what you propose, you present to the board what you believe the purchase power would be under your proposal. And then the board will make a decision whether or not it's a go or no-go. Up until that point in time, there's no risk to the county for any expenditures. And if we elect not to go with the Birdsall consortium proposal versus what we currently have on electric consortium, then we could always make that option and go with that as well if they come in with a better price, correct?
That is correct, yes.
Okay.
Did we just write that now? I don't know, but
I'm trying to bring clarification to help you understand what we're trying to do, Freeholder.
I'm just trying to understand why we don't have all that in writing to at least review. But listen, I can sense where this is going. I can only raise my questions and concerns. We have no agreement. It wasn't even negotiated, it seems. We have nothing to show. We don't know if we have an out. We don't know where our options are. We haven't even consulted with our current energy provider or aggregator. I just think we're being premature. I'm not saying we shouldn't do it. Let's just wait 2 weeks. I don't really know what the rush is. I can assure you, utility gas prices are not going to spike in the next 2 weeks in the middle of the summer, and I know the consultant would agree, but I can only make my comment.
Thank you. Call for a vote. There's a motion and a second. Roll call.
Freeholder Barrett Belante.
Yes.
Freeholder Polos.
No.
Freeholder Rios.
Yes.
Freeholder Tamaro.
Yes.
Freeholder Valenti.
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rafano.
Yes.
May I ask one question, Director? To
No.
Freeholder Tomato, are you willing to at least work with me on the sustainability?
Freeholder, not right now.
Just,
Hey, look, let's
Director, don't be
go
rude
through the
now.
agenda.
Director, I'm asking a question to a fellow colleague. Charlie, are you at least willing to work with me on the sustainability plan so we can at least initiate it and move together with it?
I'll answer that at the end of the meeting. We'll talk privately.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to open up to the floor, to the public for any comment on any item. Yes.
Good evening. My name is Avi Devani, 44 South Shore Drive, South Amboy, New Jersey. I just have a statement and a couple of questions related to that statement. I want to take this opportunity to acknowledge the Parks and Recreation Department's substantial completion of the shoreline stabilization project, including the repair and redesign of the waterfront walkway to Raritan Bay Waterfront Park. Although in my view this work took a little longer than it should have and could have been better supervised, the completion of this project is a very welcome amenity for the community. My question is, was this initiative financed with FEMA grant, and if so, how much?
Ralph?
There was no FEMA grant. The project was financed by the county, and then we had FEMA come in and see what we qualified for because it was declared a disaster area. We still don't know how much we will be is going to qualify.
So we expended the funds waiting for FEMA to do a determination if it's eligible.
We expended the funds because we had a
Right,
minor
right,
disaster.
absolutely.
We needed
Yeah. So how much was involved?
$3 million.
Thank you. So certainly very hopeful that we're successful in obtaining the FEMA grant for that amount or as much as we can. I know it's very difficult to obtain FEMA money. It's a very complicated process. I know that from personal experience, but I think it's worthy of a FEMA consideration. I have one other question about the completion of the work. There appear to be stakes and flag markers on a beach now.
Yes.
What is that for?
There's, I believe that is work that is being done to do the as-built survey of the project.
Okay. So, thank you. In conclusion, my comment is really about the vehicular circle in that area. Unlike some of my neighbors, I have never been opposed to this traffic circle because I think it's a very common design element for such, beautiful lookout view. But I believe that since the original design of that traffic circle, 3 significant changes took place with its most recent work, which would make the reintroduction of vehicular traffic into the circle a real danger to pedestrians and a potential liability to the county. The first is the temporary secondary pedestrian walkway, which now is presumably permanent. It crosses directly in the path of the entrance and the exit to the vehicular traffic circle. The second is the recently added and very beautiful fallen soldier monument and the associated standing and seating areas. Those are very dangerously close to the vehicular traffic circle. And finally, the wonderful new beach access stairway is clearly an attraction for significant pedestrian traffic and which could potentially be endangered by the possibility of an out-of-control vehicle within the traffic circle. So for all those reasons, I would ask the Parks and Recreation Department to consider continuing to keep vehicular traffic circle close to vehicles going forward. Thank you for the opportunity to speak on this matter.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else in the public? Yeah.
Hi, my name's James Foy. I'm from Monroe Township. I spoke at the last meeting, and from the last time I spoke, I want to thank Freeholder Tamaro, Administrator John Pelmina. I'm sorry if I murdered that.
That's okay.
I'm sorry if I murdered that. It's, it's a little difficult up here talking. Ronald Rios, Jim Polos, I really appreciate you guys coming out. You guys actually go out of your way to help out the community. I honestly commend all of you. I really do. It means a lot to my family. It means a lot to my neighborhood. It means a lot to my neighbors. But I really wanted to publicly thank you, especially on a hot day like yesterday. It was hot. It was bad. It was brutal. They came out.
Thanks for the water.
I offered you air conditioning, but yeah, no. But I really wanted to thank you publicly, and hopefully we can still, further pursue what we were talking about. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anybody else in the public?
Motion to close.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Ayes have it. I need a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Deputy Director Rios, seconded by Freeholder Valente. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Meeting adjourned.